esteemed webinar attendees, you have made an excellent decision today. You have joined a RingPartner University webinar, and we have invited two experts, Amalia Beckmann and Geraghty from Invoca, to talk about RingPools. I get this question all the time, and really I'm running out of ways to say I don't know or to excuse myself because I have to use the bathroom as soon as they ask that question. So this is a total relief for me. Absolutely thrilled to have Amalia and Sean here. Just combined 15, like I said, 15 years experience in this space. I've driven by the Invoca offices. Super jealous I didn't get to meet them in person, but one day I hope. Sean and Amalia, are you guys there?
We are.
Excellent.
Nice to join you.
Fantastic. All right, guys. So basically the way the webinar is going to go, and of course I will remind you, as usual with all their webinars, this will be recorded. We're going to let Amalia and Sean do their presentation, and of course our butts are going to be glued to our seats. That goes without saying. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat window or in the chat function. I will make sure to relay those to Amalia and Sean at the end if we have time. And keep in mind, we'll keep questions at the end of the presentation just so they can sort of get a flow going. But as always, we always appreciate your guys' questions. And again, this will be made available on all our channels as well. I'm sure Invoca will be sharing that with their followers. And yeah, I just want to say thank you everybody for joining us. Absolutely thrilled to be here. And without further ado, we shall pass the presentation on. All right, guys, here we go.
Hi there, this is Amalia with Invoca. Thanks everyone, thank you Henry and all of our attendees. Really excited to share some tips and tricks and everything with you today about RingPools. So what we're going to be covering are exactly what are RingPools. Don't believe you were born with this knowledge. RingPools is in fact kind of invented by Invoca. So going to be defining that for you so you understand them. We are going to be helping you to understand if RingPools are a good fit for your marketing strategy, and we're going to be covering how to get started with RingPools. So hopefully you guys will be pros by the end of this and on your way getting more value out of your marketing efforts.
And I will have no more excuses about not telling people what they are. I'll at very least be able to send them this link. So I'm super excited.
Perfect. So what are RingPools? Well, RingPools are a group of dynamic phone numbers. They automatically populate in real time, allowing you to provide a unique phone number per visitor, capture all those unique session-based details that are tied to that individual visitor. What's great about that is that instead of having a one-to-one relationship where you would have to establish a phone number to track every unique parameter and value, RingPools allow you to dynamically rotate and cycle through phone numbers so that you don't have to have that one-to-one relationship but still get all the great value and stickiness about capturing those details. So with RingPools, you can capture up to 25 unique parameters which are completely customizable to your business's needs. You'll get visibility into their entire path of the customer with granular data on what drove them to make the call. Some of the examples that we've seen and that we know can work in order to get you that extra juicy data is to use the publisher IDs to allow you attribution and credit to those amongst your team that might be sharing the same media and driving through similar strategies and landing pages. We have the ability to capture the referring URL, the current landing page, any A and B testing variables you might be wanting to employ and try out. Creative specs are also useful. And then, of course, search parameters. So really understanding what the user had typed in order to get to your marketing effort, which took them to that landing page, and then help them to place that call. So GSL ID, ad ID, any UTM sources, terms, keywords, and click IDs that might pertain to what you're doing.
Amalia, in terms of it, it's crazy to me that you can have up to 25 unique parameters. I had no idea it was that many. Would you be able to give us a sort of maybe a number, like an average amount of parameters that people that use ring pools have? Like, is the average like one or two, or do most people take real advantage of ring pools and have like 10 or more?
That is a great question and absolutely relevant. We do see it vary. It kind of depends what type of data scientist you are and how much you geek out over that optimization strategy.
Right.
I think generally we end up seeing between 2 and 5, but the reason we have up to 25 is because it was requested and demanded by some of the folks that we work with.
Excellent. Yeah, always better to have more than more than less. But no, that's really cool.
All right, now that we know what ring pools are, let's take a moment and understand why it's important and get a visual representation of how that would look. So when we look at a typical ad here, we can see that you can use direct promo numbers in ads to get granular data. However, customers need to drive consumers to a landing page. And what RingPools allow is for you to have that connection between your online data and capturing the journey of that consumer and the source of that consumer all the way to the landing page. So for example, what we have here is a paid search ad for Vivint. And when you click through, that number that is highlighted is a dynamic number that populates at the session level. So for every unique visitor that goes to that landing page through that search ad, a unique number will be populated there and will then allow you to connect the data between whatever you're capturing, whether it is a ad group, a keyword, referring URL, whatever it might be in that regard. So this is a great example of how some of customers are utilizing RingPools.
Very cool. Sean, I had a quick question, and let me know if I'm totally out to lunch here. In terms of the phone number here, we see that it's different in the ad text and the landing page, but I guess normally that wouldn't get approved because the number has to match. But I guess in this case, by dynamically inserting it, or dynamically inserting it, you get around that. Do you know what I mean?
That's correct. So the reason the number changes is based upon the parameters that were set by the publisher who is capturing the unique data along the way. So in that instance, that's why we have a unique number.
Very cool. Very cool. Because I know one of the most common questions I get from our partners is, am I able to use a local number, just because people generally trust local numbers a lot more. So very, very cool that that's one of the functions.
Absolutely. And, this last year, 2015, was the first year where mobile click-to-call actually exceeded desktop. And so you're going to see a lot more dynamic numbers in the sense that consumers don't necessarily pay as much attention to the actual number, just as long as they have the ability to click the call.
Right. Fantastic. All right, guys.
So in terms of the actual poll, a couple of things we wanted to just have yourself, how many people out there are using dynamic numbers today? And the purpose of today's is, one, if you aren't using dynamic numbers, this presentation hopefully will give you something to think about. And if you are, hopefully the idea behind this is that you're going to have some new ideas and ways in which you can better leverage dynamic tracking and capturing data.
So guys, I apologize, we won't have the poll available, but if you are or if you aren't, message me real quick right now. Guys, I often like to do this to make sure that everybody's awake, and so yeah, everybody, we're not gonna continue with the presentation unless at least one person messages me and tells me if they're using dynamic tracking numbers or not. And we already have 6 respondents. Excellent. All right, shows we're engaged. Fantastic, guys. So it looks like we got about half and half. We've got 7 responses, 3 yes and 4 no. So a good mix of experience here.
So when getting started with RingPools, there are really 2 basic requirements to begin leveraging this feature. And the first one is that your account must have RingPools enabled. It's a simple network setting. Your network representative at RingPartner will be the main point person to make sure that you have access to that feature. And then the second one is that your Invoca web integration code must be placed on the landing page you're driving traffic to. So having the actual code on the landing page is what we leverage in order to understand and populate that unique number, and it kind of acts as that linchpin between what you're looking to capture and the actual landing page. Outside of that, if these 2 features are enabled, you can hit the ground running.
Okay, excellent. So as Sean just mentioned, the web integration code is key. This is grabbed from the advertiser account, and you'll see that that ID is present in the code. This allows us to create that relationship and populate the correct number, as well as report on those calls correctly. So this is an important piece in order for that RingPool to work as designed. So this would be something to confirm or work with the network representative to ensure that there is a landing page with web integration code on it in order to drive traffic.
Amalia,
so that would just be on the landing page. Oh, yes?
Very cool. Guys, we've got normally we keep questions until the end, but I've got one coming in that I think might be relevant. One of our attendees is asking if we can place this code in an iframe that's placed on the offer or the landing page. So for example, another network often place our affiliate pixels in an iframe that we place on the advertiser's page, and we obviously can't place all of our affiliate pixels directly on the page. Do you guys know? Do you guys have any answer to that? Any ideas?
We can look into that because there are some contributing factors on whether that can be leveraged. So there is the ability to do it in an iframe. One of the challenges is the volume of calls going to an iframe page. So there are some factors there. I'd be more than happy to talk offline around that specific use case and confirm that they'll be able to use that.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Let's go on to the next slide here.
Okay, great. So this particular slide is part of our RingPools setup wizard. We have the name of the pool, and the ID is auto-populated. We have tracking numbers and establishing what they should be reserved for. And you'll notice the key term "at least." This is not the idea that if 30 minutes goes by and that person places the call, we've lost or misattributed those details. That simply has to do with our ability to establish the connection between that number and those parameters. What will happen is if those numbers have been all allocated at one point and have not met their minimum criteria for 30 minutes, it means that we won't have a specific phone number to allocate to the new user session to track those unique user session details. A number will still go out. It's a special overflow number which allows us to continue to track the call just not those unique user session details that are so crucial to the RingPools unique abilities. So to that end, we always recommend ensuring that you're not hitting that overflow and your RingPool is properly sized. It can be sized in real time just through this campaign wizard here. The other factor that goes into that calculation is the unique clicks per day to your site that you estimate. Once you have both of those values input, we will create a estimated pool size, which will in this case be 38, as you can see, which would be how many promo numbers would be in that particular dynamic ring pool. You can then also choose to use toll-free numbers or local numbers in that ring pool. So that would explain that piece of the setup. So this part is also part of vWizard. This is to determine what parameters you'd actually like to capture. In this example, we have a sub ID and a click ID. Any time that you're looking to capture a parameter, it just needs to meet the requirements of being passed within the URL string or be a first-party cookie on the page. If it fits either of those, or say, for example, you're capturing referrer domain, then you're in business.
And now once your ring pool is ready, here is the code you can grab. Now, if you take a look at this code, you can see at the end of this URL string the sub ID and the click ID with the ampersand separated, the equal ampersand. You can see that you are ready to go. And if, for instance, you are driving a mobile specific traffic, you can also click that box to make it mobile click-to-call. And what that will do is that will modify that URL string to have the ampersand mobile equals 1 added to that string, so that when you place it in an ad and a prospective consumer clicks through it, it will pop in their mobile phone to dial from their mobile device. And then down below, you can see what your reporting will look like. So when you go into your transaction detail reports, you'll be able to see essentially new columns of data added to your reporting. You will have the pool param name, and then we will have next to that the pool param value associated with that. And again, for this example, we have 2 parameters, so you're going to have essentially 4 new columns, pool param name 1, pool param value 1, pool param name 2, and the click ID, and so forth. So that is where you'll be able to begin leveraging the data once your campaign is live and you start driving traffic to that ring pool.
All right, guys. Well, that it's such a meaty yet worthwhile tactic, and that's just an incredible presentation, guys. I want everybody to know that I didn't make that. I contributed the little logo in the top right-hand corner, but thanks so much, guys. I know we have a lot of questions, so hopefully you'll stick around for that. Otherwise, I will not be able to help out everybody with their questions. But yeah, great job. I guess the first question I have here is really a level of experience for RingPools, and I imagine from a layman's perspective, i.e. me, I would say probably RingPool not for beginners, but maybe not like it doesn't require years and years and years of experience like I thought before.
That's correct. I think in terms of being able to leverage RingPools, it is really the way to think about it is if you are capturing unique parameters in your online marketing efforts, RingPools is designed to act as a connective tissue to connect your online activity with your offline.
Right.
So the leap between capturing online parameters and offline using RingPools really is not a huge leap. So if you have comfort on that online side, then the RingPools themselves should be very intuitive.
Okay.
And I would add to that that the data is only as good as you're going to make use of it. So you can be capturing all these fields, but if you're not optimizing based on that or reviewing what's coming in to drive better and quality calls with that entire call path, considering the duration and where those calls are coming from and what's being said on those calls, you know, it's not going to be as useful to you. So definitely kind of important to maybe take it in bites in order to really do something with the data and then maybe collect more parameters or something to that end. The other part that I would also add is one of the great things about the technology is that when you're collecting all that data within the platform and within your reporting, there's the ability to close the loop by passing that data back into your other data warehouses. For example, if you were capturing the Google Analytics ID, you can create, we call it webhook, to pass that data back into that system. So you're not just seeing the data on its own, but side by side your other marketing efforts and the rest of the data you're mining from that landing page.
Very cool. Thanks, guys. We got some more questions here. Someone is asking what ranges are available for pool sizes? Like what is there? I think you mentioned earlier in the slide, Amalia, it might have been 38. Is that the maximum number, or is there? Can they go even bigger, or what would you say?
Sure. So that actually is because at the end of the day, those numbers technically belong to the network, and that network's relationship with their number usage, that can vary depending on what that is. I believe the default is at 50, to my understanding, but we can confirm that.
Okay. Okay. And another quick question here. We've got, does the code, can you do RingPools, does it work with WordPress?
I believe it does. We have a WordPress plugin, but it should just work directly.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Which is good. I'm actually.
It works 100%. Wherever you are driving traffic, and as long as that web integration code is placed there, it will work in WordPress 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
To be clear, our website is built on WordPress, and we use it.
Hey, great. Good stuff. So I just wanted to clarify, maybe you guys can speak to this a little bit. So some people are just wanting to sort of clarify this. So the maximum number of parameters, i.e. sort of pieces of data you can collect, is 25, but that's not the maximum number of phone numbers you can have, correct?
Those are two separate pieces, absolutely.
Yes.
So
okay.
The phone number is based on the formula of how many visits you expect to have and how long you need that number reserved for. I think it surprises a lot of our customers how few numbers are needed to take on that load of how many visits they get per page. So you certainly don't want to have more than you need. And that cycle is generally pretty right on. So the other part that I would address is really the parameters are, again, those unique dimensions that you're looking to capture. So one has to do with kind of the time and visit variation, how many people are coming, and the other is how many unique dimensions you're looking to capture about a particular audience profile.
Cool. That makes sense to me. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
I would say, and just to add to that, in terms of the driving consumers to that landing page, so when you think about how long a consumer will be on that landing page, really is a key factor. So if you have a landing page that is content rich and has data, and a consumer is going to be educating themselves on a product or service, you're going to need a fewer amount of numbers needed versus, say, if you were just driving to a non-content rich type of landing page. So Where RingPools wouldn't work would be, say, in pop traffic or anything like that. That would not work. It's designed to capture the online journey of a consumer and to connect them when they pick up a phone call on their path to purchase.
Understood. Understood. Cool. This is probably the most amount of questions we've ever had, guys. So I'm trying to filter them out and make sure we get through the best ones here. You guys mentioned earlier the parameters. We're getting a lot of interest in that, up to 25. Is there a specific list? I know you guys put down some of them earlier in the presentation, but is there a full list of all 25 different parameters somewhere in the Invoca, or that we can pass along to our attendees?
So the parameters really, as mentioned, are user defined. Those could be values that are completely made up in acronyms or an integration partner that you work with. So there's really not a defined list anywhere. Those are just sort of the ones that we see most frequently in that particular list.
Right.
I did want to also establish that up to 25 is an Invoca feature. So generally, you'll see parameters including up to 10. And if there is kind of more of a demand, as we might see, that's something to sort of talk through when that comes up.
Excellent. So really, the only limitation is their imagination.
Basically, yeah.
Exactly. If they're passing in the URL, we'll be able to capture it, or a first party cookie.
We generally joke around with our test variables. It really is what you make of it.
Very cool. Sort of, talking on more of a grand scheme level, what would you guys say the core benefit of using RingPools is, if you had to sort of give maybe an elevator pitch, like in 1 or 2 sentences? Like if you had to sort of say to someone who isn't using them, like, here's why you should use a RingPool.
I think if you want to track calls like clicks, you use RingPools. I think the ability to connect your offline consumer interaction with your online is really what RingPools were designed for. So ultimately, that is, I think, when we're looking at it in a condensed or reduced, truncated summary, I think looking at it in those terms, I think, is the most concise way to think of RingPools.
Perfect. Sean, I'm so glad you took that. Amalia, I'll let you speak here in a second. I just wanted to say that I am not good at summing things up in 1 or 2 sentences, so I'm really happy you guys are here. Amalia, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Sure, no, that's fine. I would add to that same kind of elevator pitch, just that there's a lot of opportunity for ROI here, because you're getting that extra value and being able to mine that from your marketing strategy without needing just buckets of phone numbers. You're really using your numbers efficiently in order to get more value than you would on a static session, which allows you to bring in more landing pages, test more, and really refine what that best path to phone call is.
Fantastic. This is an interesting question, guys. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but again, this is why we bring the experts on here. Are the numbers only available during business calling times? And I mean, in which case, the call wouldn't count, but would they have to maybe switch it out at certain times of the day, or what do you guys think?
No, RingPools will automatically populate at any time. The RingPool itself does not look at the terms of a campaign to determine whether a number is populated. They'll sort of rely on the publisher's promotional methods to kind of take that into account.
Awesome. And then continuing a little bit on the tech side, I'm so happy you guys are here. One of our attendees is asking, how does the sort of the local aspect work? I.e., does the caller sort of pick up an IP address and it spits out a local number? That's done automatically. I'm assuming, so if I'm calling, like, for example, Vancouver Island here in beautiful Canada is 250. So if somebody is searching for an ad that I've placed in Victoria, and I'm using RingPools, it'll dynamically just show up as a 250 number. Am I on the right track?
So it's a little bit different, actually.
Okay.
When I don't know if you want to go back to the slide,
Sure.
Which basically specifies if you want true toll-frees or if you want the local numbers, but since we're interactive, essentially you decide which area code you would like to use in that local number pool. So that would then specify which numbers are going to be added to that particular ring pool.
Fantastic. No, it does make...
And so that is particularly on the slide number 10, by the way, just so we can be on the page there, literally.
Right.
Perfect. So you'll just see where it says number type.
Ah, fantastic.
So the specified location is where you would tell the ring pool what area code you would need to supply for that. It actually is not related to IP addresses.
All right.
But the broader question is that if they want to leverage local numbers for ring pools and attribution and things like that, this is where you would enable that.
Understood. And one more question, guys, and we're actually coming up to our last couple, so I hope you guys are doing all right over there. You're just dropping some fantastic wisdom bombs on us. In terms of the code, and I'll try and find the specific page here. So in terms of the code, it might be this one, it might be the first one. I'm not sure what they're referring to. Is it dropped in terms of the code? Is it dropped in the body or the head, or would you be able to let us know exactly where they should be putting this code?
That code typically goes between the headers on the landing page where a number is presented. Mm-hmm. This code we're looking at, this is the web integration code. So what we didn't capture in this screenshot, but when you go through the setup wizard itself, we present some very specific instructions to kind of walk you through where you do that. But it's really between the headers of where the number is presented.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that is all the time we have for questions. I want to give a huge thanks to everybody involved. Webinar attendees, this was one of our most requested and most attended webinars. And, the feedback we're getting from these is all positive. So if you have any ideas about other guests or other topics you'd like us to tackle or bring on, experts in that field, please let me know. We're going to be doing about 1 or 2 a week for the near future. So thanks to you guys. Huge thanks, by the way. Amalia and Sean, the presentation could not have happened without you. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.
Thank you. We really appreciated the opportunity to participate and wish the best of promotional luck to all your publishers. And thanks for your time.
Fantastic. Amalia, did you want to say anything else before we head out? What is there anything cool that Invoca's cooking up that maybe you can give us a sneak preview?
Oh, you know us. We're always cooking up stuff.
I know.
Yeah, we're really, really excited about some of the more performance enhancements that we're coming up with lately. Kind of coming down the line, we have concurrent call caps, another feature that we're sort of endearingly calling call outcomes, which is the ability for publishers to get paid out more based on different variables. So for example, if you're capturing these variables and these parameters, maybe one of those is really important to the recipient of those phone calls and they're willing to pay out more for it. So really kind of addressing that whole relationship of advertiser, buyer, network, publisher, affiliate, all the different names there. and trying to continue to innovate with feedback and where we understand the market is going with trends.
That's magnificent, guys. We're RingPartner is so thrilled to have Invoca as one of our closest partners, largely because of the support, but also how quickly you guys innovate and come out with new services. So for everybody listening, I'll say thanks one more time and just mention that this is going to be recorded and made available on our Twitter, which is at RingPartner, our Facebook group, and as well as your RingPartner portal on your dashboard. And one final note, we will be attending LeadsCon. I know we just had a very busy month with some great conferences, including Contact.io. But yeah, we will be at LeadsCon in Las Vegas in March. I'll be there on my birthday, which is March 17th. So if you guys are planning, to learn more about the industry or you want to meet face-to-face, a common variable amongst all our top partners is that we've met face-to-face multiple times. It really does build a level of trust. You can tell a lot through body language and just being in the same room with somebody rather than being over the phone. So if you're keen, and you're near Las Vegas, you don't even have to sign up to the conference. Just let us know and we can grab a section of a wall or go for a coffee or grab lunch or whatever and talk about your business and what you hope to achieve and what RingPartner can do to make sure that you achieve those goals. So I'm sure Invoca, you guys will be at many other conferences as well. So if you're lucky, you'll get myself, Amalia, and Sean. I hear Amalia and Sean know how to party. I've never had an alcoholic beverage in my life, so maybe they can teach me how, and you guys can join us. But yeah, that's about it. In the meantime, guys, thanks again. Amalia and Sean, wonderful to hear from you guys, and we'll talk to you very soon. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.